you're probably wondering why I have the camera zoomed in on this very, shall we say, rustic looking nail. Well, there's a significance behind it, which I will tell you in just a few moments. I won't talk long about Saugus Iron Works Boston. There's a lot of history there, and I wanted to cover briefly some of it. Still hardly touched it at all, but still. Saugus Iron Works in eastern Massachusetts. Guess where it is? It's in Saugus. This open-air park along the Saugus River is the site of the first integrated ironworks in North America. In use from 1646 to 1668, the ironworks complex still houses a reconstructed blast furnace, a forge, a rolling mill, a blacksmith shop, and a restored 17th century dwelling. The museum, which sits beside the river, has working water wheels and machinery. The park was authorized on April 5, 1968. Plan to spend about 2 hours here, busiest June through August, least crowded January and February. If it was busiest in June, then there's probably nobody there in January and February, because when I went, there were about 5 other people there. Could have just been a slow day. It was a Sunday, lazy Sunday afternoon, but I would think that might encourage people to go to someplace like that. So it was an ironworks site. It didn't last very long because the people who worked there kind of, let's say that they turned to other things besides iron, namely alcohol, and after that it kind of fell into ruin. But lots of other ironwork sites popped up across the country, and this was like the first one, so that's why this one in particular is commemorated. Now, the nail that you see in front of me, I actually saw crafted, and you'll get to see it too. You'll get to see one of the workers there actually make this nail. Pretty cool footage, so I'm glad I got it. Didn't get a pamphlet from there. Oh, but the Junior Ranger program. It's a pretty simple one. Apparently they used to hand you a huge book full of things to do, but now they just let you pick a couple and do them. I picked it's still not really hard, but I picked a couple more complicated ones. You have to walk around the museum and watch the film, find out what these different types of people did at the ironworks, including the Native Americans, the Scottish prisoners of war, and the Puritans. And then this one you're supposed to do on the computer, but for me they just let me pick a topic and find out a few things about it. Also, I have this map here, which I'll give a brief glance over at. Here's the parking lot, a short walk to the museum building or the visitor center. There is the old establishment, the Ironworks House. There's a future discovery center, I guess. A bridge. There's the blast furnace, the forge, slitting mill. And over here is the blacksmith shop. That is where the nail that is right there was made. Also, if you do the Junior Ranger program, they'll give you a couple of quarters and a penny, at least they did for me, so you can get this nice little memento of the Saugus Iron Works National Historic Site. So, here is the badge. Once again, it's a neat one. It has a picture of the ironworks on it, and then there is another little pin that you can get. Established in 1646, the reconstructed ironworks celebrates the first successful iron-producing complex in North America. Iron rendering technology converted raw materials into cast and wrought iron products for the infant colonies. One more thing I forgot to show you from Saugus Iron Works is the cancellation stamps and the actual regional stamps. So there's one that just says Saugus Iron Works National Historical Park. Another one for the Essex National Heritage Area in Saugus. I don't know anything about that. I just had a stamp there and I figured, what the heck. I have one that's a pretty cool one. It actually looks like the ironworks, or at least part of it. And there's one for the 25th anniversary, the Passport 25th anniversary, 1986 to 2011. So a little outdated, but what the heck, it was there. And I like filling up my stamp book. So here, I know I said once again that I was done, but slipped my mind once again. Here's some footage from Saugus Iron Works. We're now about 15 or 20 minutes outside of Boston in the town of Saugus at the Saugus Iron Works. So the Saugus Iron Works were established in 1646 and is the first successful iron working area in the United States of America. And as you can see, there's lots of flowers and birds singing around here, so it's a nice change from the busyness at the Boston National Historic Park and the Freedom Trail. This would have been an active furnace at one time where they heated up the iron and smelted it. And here are the different tools they would have used in that process. From what I've seen so far, this is a Sunday afternoon in early June, but it seems like this is a very quiet national park, unlike Boston National Historic Park, which was on your screen moments ago. For those of you who have played LEGO Lord of the Rings or LEGO The Hobbit, you'll recognize these from the blacksmith shop, which is pretty much exactly what we're at. And these are the bellows, except these are absolutely enormous. They're just about as tall as me. I don't know how they would have got these things to work. It looks like, actually I think I do know how they got them to work. They would have used a mill wheel to turn this giant log, which in turn pulled down, because it's attached by a chain there, would have pulled down on each of the bellows. The process would repeat itself over and over again until the furnace is heated up. But if they didn't have this, they'd at least need someone about Monber's size to sit on there and jump up and down a lot. So now we're in the forge area. And there's some bellows more about the size that most people are used to. Here's the tongs to pick up the hot iron with. And another one of those big mill wheels is right outside. As you can imagine, with all that hot iron in here, it would get extremely hot. But right now there's a nice breeze blowing through here. It's a very nice early summer day here in Saugus, Massachusetts. They got all kinds of these tools for picking up and shaping the iron. There's some more bellows and another forge right over there. Park's getting ready to close, so I've got to hurry a bit, but this is more of the area where the iron bars would have been shaped into thinner, more manageable sections for weapons and tools.
So I have the bellow over here. Now I'm not as fortunate as the other buildings where they have a water wheel to do it, and I have to do it by hand. Normally the apprentice would do it, but I do not have an apprentice, so I will do it. And in the fire, I just have normal charcoal, store-bought, we don't make it here. And then I have a piece of wrought iron in there that's heating up right now. I'm trying to get it close to melting, so it's malleable and I can hit it, but not quite melting. So around 2,000 degrees is the target temperature. I'm just kind of guessing when it's around there.
next two parks I have hardly any footage from, but that's because most of what you're seeing is indoors, either that, or in the case of the second one, there's a lot of stuff outdoors, but let's just say it doesn't seem like it's worth seeing. More on that after we talk about this one. This is Salem Maritime National Historic Site, the first National Historic Site ever created, I might add. At least that's what they said there. They may just be pompous and want to be the first National Historical Site ever created. That's what they said. So don't blame me if it's false information. Blame them. So Salem is now most people. This is the Salem that people think of when they hear Salem, with the witches and the ghouls and all that. But this national park is not about the witches and all that. It's about the maritime history, which I myself find more interesting and more satisfactory for a national park. Witches aren't exactly national park worthy, in my opinion. Even if it was a real historical event, that should not be forgotten. So it is the same town. The part that they're commemorating, though, was well before the witches. Let me go ahead and read you the description. If I can find it here. Here it is. Salem Maritime National Historic Site in Northeast Massachusetts. Guess where it is? I'll give you $1,000 if you guess correctly. It's in Salem. Did you all got it right? I don't have that kind of money, sorry. Never mind. The port town of Salem was a major northeast trading point for early America, and this historic park restores the exciting days when creaky wooden schooners cruised into the docks beneath billowing sails. Bounding the water are authentic 18th and 19th century wharves, with such buildings as the Custom House, the West India Goods Store, and the 17th century Narbonne Ale House are open for exploration. The public stores are stocked with sundries at the times, and the home of 18th century merchant E.H. Derby shows off the lavish taste to the era's top traders. You can also tour the Friendship, the North Shore's tallest tall ship. The tallest tall ship. How repetitive. A full-size replica of a 342-ton merchant ship built in Salem in 1797. The site was designated on March 17, 1938. Right around in here, maybe this building right here, that is what's supposed to be the visitor center, but it's closed for renovations at the moment. You'll see the Friendship from a distance, and I got an extremely long shot down the wharf of the lighthouse. Salem Maritime National Historic Site in Salem. Friendship of Salem. Salem Underground Railroad Freedom Network. Not exactly sure what that is. Essex National Heritage Area in Salem, and once again the 25th anniversary of the passport in 2011, and that was all for that one. Oh, the Junior Ranger program, pretty simple one, I must say. I didn't personally really care for it, especially since all the buildings were closed and I couldn't go in them and find out about them so I could answer the questions. So I did the best I could. They want you to locate some of the buildings and objects. And since I'm watching Horatio Hornblower, which is a series I highly recommend to anyone, unless you're like 5 or something. And even then, if you like this kind of stuff, I would check it out. But thanks to a little bit of knowledge I have about ships, I was able to fill this out all by myself without any help, pretty much. And, oh, the badges. The badge and the pin, I should say. A little bit different looking. It has an eagle on there. It's very shiny, so you can't really see it that well. And then here's this pin that I got for it. It says Salem Maritime National Historic Site. Yeah, it says something else. Oh yeah, it says Friendship of Salem up along the top there. It has a nice, cool looking ship on there. So, you'll see like the 30-second video I have of that, and then we'll move on to the final one, Lowell. Alright, we're now at Salem Maritime National Historic Site. Unfortunately, the Visitor Center building is closed, but there may be another building. I'm going to try and check it out. But in any case, we'll still be able to see a few of the things here. The boat can't board it, but you can see the outside, the Constitution, the rest of everything. And then there's also a couple of structures down there. So right now, the Visitor Center right next to all the sites is closed, so we had to come here so I could get my passport stamped and stuff. so unfortunately I didn't really get to go down in there too much. But for now, you're gonna have to come here if you want to talk to park rangers and stuff. There is a cancellation station in one of the historic buildings there, but you'll have to find this area, not the nicest area of town.